viewers who are tuning in for the very first time. I'm Pastor Pope, and thank you for allowing us to come into your viewing environment. We are live right here in the FijiWater.com sponsored studio every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, scheduling permitted, to discuss whatever topics you might like to discuss, whatever issues of life you find challenging or that you find difficult to navigate. You can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss your present, your future, marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships. Whatever's in your heart and whatever's on your mind, God is concerned about that which concerns you. So we are here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, scheduling permitted, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock. The water collects in a natural artesian aquifer where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is Earth's finest water. And for those of you who continue giving on the Give segment of our app at New Life-Delaware, and those of you that have made a weekly or monthly commitment to support the broadcast by giving on the contribution page of our website at newlifeministriesinternational.com, we thank you for your support and for your commitment as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. So I'm going to begin today by saying to all of our listeners and viewers, you could win a free nutrition counseling promo that we are having right here in 3D. And all you have to do is listen daily to 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, for the keyword or the key phrase. Once you hear the keyword or key phrase, you can email me at newlifepastor@comcast.net or call or text on the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. Once you have heard the keyword or key phrase, you text or email, and we have 2 more days, today and tomorrow, before we will select our winner for the nutrition counseling promo with Rebecca Buva, licensed and registered dietitian and nutritionist, BeccaTheDietitian.com, right here in 3D. So listen every day for the keyword or key phrase. I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you really have finally realized that things are returning to normal. However, you do not want your life to return to what it was before the pandemic. And you want to know, what can you do to keep from going back? You know, that's a very interesting question. It's interesting that for so long, for approximately 18 months, we've been in this period of time where you have the opportunity to recalibrate your life or reset your life. And, you know, it's quite profound that you have decided that you don't want to return to what life was like before the pandemic. In other words, not that you have not accepted the fact that there's going to be a new normal, for lack of a better term, but what you don't want is to go back to life the way it was prior to the pandemic, the way you were living prior to the pandemic. So here's the answer to that. Don't go back to that. What you've done to recalibrate your life, what you've done to refocus, what you've done to reset, continue doing those things. It's easy to return to what's comfortable for you. But what's happened is that you've learned to be comfortable being uncomfortable, stepping outside of your norm, stepping outside of the old way of life. And you really developed a new way of life in the last 18 months. You understand that life is much more important than you took life to be in the past. You have made a bigger commitment to your career, to developing your professional career. You've made a bigger commitment to being more responsible. So you're absolutely correct. Why would you return to that when God has allowed you to recalibrate your life? Has given you the opportunity to improve and enhance the quality of your life. So you're absolutely right. Don't go back to Egypt. So let me give you an example of this, because in the scripture it talks about this. When the children of Israel came out of Egypt and they entered into the wilderness experience. So liken the pandemic to your wilderness experience. They entered into their wilderness experience, and because it wasn't comfortable for them, they preferred and told Moses, who was leading them out, and not only leading them out, but then leading them through the wilderness and into the promised land. But they wanted to return to Egypt because they knew what to expect in Egypt. They knew that even though they'd be beaten down, even though they would be enslaved physically and mentally, even though they knew that they would not be treated fairly, they were willing to return to that because they knew what to expect and it was acceptable to them. What you've decided is that life before the pandemic is no longer acceptable to you. The wilderness experience that you've been in, and that many have been in for the last 18 months, is something that, let me kind of break this down for everyone, for all of our listeners and viewers also. It was something that we really didn't have to go through for 18 months. If we had done what God wanted us to do from the beginning, and watch this, if we had sought his face, humbled ourselves, increased our prayer life, turned from our wicked ways, he said, I'll heal your land. So we're in the healing process now, but we didn't have to go through this for 18 months. If people had done what they were supposed to do from the beginning, there would have been a way to reduce and eliminate some of what we went through. But we didn't. And then, because the vaccine came, people then were able to be vaccinated, and so we were able to suppress COVID-19. Well, here's the reality. Now that we've come to the edge of the wilderness experience, we've come through it and we're about to step out. In other words, everything's about to reopen fully. States have made that clear. The government has made that clear, that we have the opportunity now to reopen everything fully. The Bible tells us to obey the laws of the land, so we've been doing our part. But the reality is that when you look back at life before the pandemic and you say to yourself, I don't want to go back to Egypt, you have to keep moving forward. And now that you're at the edge of coming through this wilderness experience, you're about to enter into your promised land. And here's the good news. Your promised land flows with milk and honey. Your promised land is a place where God has appointed for your life that will lead you to your purpose, that will lead you into the fullness of God. If you stay this course, I'm not suggesting that there will not be some moments that will be challenging, that will be difficult, because we're all going to face those moments because life happens. It's as simple as that. Life does happen. But the good news is your latter days are going to be greater than your former. Day by day, you're going to find that every day gets better than the day before because you've made a decision. And your decision is, I'm not going to live the way I've always lived because I now know that I can have a better life. And coming into that realization is something that you should give God praise for and give him all the glory. See, when we realize anything, when we receive a revelation and come to the realization of anything that's going to enhance the quality of our lives, that's when we lift our hands and give God all the glory, all the praise, and all the honor, because he's worthy of our praise. He alone is worthy. None of this could we do by ourselves. So the good news is you have a life before you that is going to be greater than the life behind you. And you know, I want to say to all of our listeners and viewers, we are moving forward. And as we move forward, we should make a commitment to truly become better versions of ourselves. That we will have the opportunity to truly be ambassadors of Christ, that we truly can be an example to others, that there's a better way to live this life. There's a better way to have life. There's a better way to have it more abundantly. There's a better way that leads to the fullness of God in all of our lives. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G provider at no extra charge. If you're not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will place you into our queue so that you can become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest, fastest, and most dependable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are always included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill at T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most dependable 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you want to make some life changes. However, you have no idea how to go about making those changes. You want a new career, you want a relocation, you want a new single life, you want to make life changes. So let me walk you through this, because when you start talking about relocating, when you start talking about changing careers, when you start talking about creating a new single life for yourself, what you're really talking about is changing your entire life. You're not looking to just change one thing, but you're looking to change many things, all three aspects of your life. So let's walk you through them one by one. It's never good to make abrupt change without planning, without having a good strategic plan. So let's talk about, how do you change careers? So one method of changing your career, and obviously going to lead to relocation because you want to move to a different city, and you're single, so you can do that. Well, you're divorced, so you're now single. So you could begin looking for a position in your field, in your local area where you are right now, that would afford you the opportunity to transfer. That's one method. The other method is deciding on what city you would like to live in, and then begin sending your resume to employers in that city. So do you want to be in a climate that has 4 seasons? Do you want to be in a climate that is filled with sunshine? Do you want to be in a dry air climate? There's a lot of things to consider there. So you have to decide, do you want to live in the South? Do you want to live in the West? Do you want to live in the Midwest? Where do you want to reside? And then look at the list of employers in that area, and then begin sending your resume to those employers. Don't decide I'm going to take a break from my current job before I relocate. First of all, it's easier to obtain a new job when you already have a job, when you're employed. That's a proven fact that it's easier to get a new position while you are employed. So don't make the mistake of doing what a lot of people do when they think they're going to relocate or they think they're going to make some change in their life. They want to take a break. You don't need a break. You need to focus. And going to work every day is going to keep you focused. But in the evenings, instead of the social activities that you want to participate in, begin searching cities. Do you want to be in a city that has a large population? Do you want to be in a city that has a mid-sized population, or do you want to be in an area in a smaller city? But the reason I keep saying cities is because that's where you're going to find the highest paying jobs. You don't want to move to a small town where there's a cornfield where the employers are limited. The largest employer might be the hospital, and they don't even have a university. So you've got to really decide where you want to live and where you want to work. Now, if you are currently working for an employer, which you're not, I'm saying this so that all of our listeners and viewers can benefit from this also, but if you're working for an employer where you can transfer, that's an automatic method of being able to make the transition. But because you're not, you could find employment where you are right now to stabilize your life, keep your life stable, and say, I'm going to put in for a transfer, and hopefully within the next 12 months I'll be able to transfer and relocate. And to God be the glory. But if you're not in a position to do that, then you have to decide where you want to live, and then search the list of employers, and then begin sending out your resume to those companies, so that if they make you an offer, you can then proceed with your relocation. And you certainly want to ask them if they offer a relocation package. And if they don't, you have saved some money for relocation. That's a good thing. So you have that if you need it. At the same time, if they offer a relocation package, you're ahead of the game. Okay, so now what does that look like for you? That means that you'll have the opportunity, when you receive an offer, to relocate to a new city and start over again. So I'm going to say to you, for the first 6 months, you don't want to date anyone for the first 6 months, because you don't need that distraction. So what you're going to do is, for the first 2 quarters after your arrival in a new city, you're going to, obviously, before relocation, you want to take a trip there, look at the area, the environment in which you live. You're going to need to go on real estate sites, and so you're currently living in an apartment. So, go on real estate sites and see what type of rentals they have. Contact them so that you can see. But if you get a relocation package, they'll offer you a realtor so that you can, whether you're going to rent or whether you're going to purchase. And right now you're only interested in renting, so leasing a place. So they'll be able to help you with that. The realtors will be able to give you some guidance on that. But at the end of the day, for the first 6 months, you don't want to date anyone. What you want to do is get familiar with your new geographical region, and you want to begin volunteering. go to a museum or go to a charitable event. Do some volunteering, because it's going to allow you to meet a different class of people. That way you won't have to, really navigate the waters of meeting different people and with a lot of different issues. Because people who are giving, who are charitable, who are in environments that are calm and, like I said, doing some volunteer work, those are people who are a different class of people. They're people who have the right kind of heart. I'm not saying that perfect, what I'm saying is they've got a good heart. So that's where you want to start. And then as you begin to meet people, they'll begin to introduce you to other people, and then you can consider who might be a good fit to start potentially developing a relationship. You also need to find a church that is teaching the Bible and teaching you how to apply it to your daily life. So if you need any help with that, I can find someone in the Champion Network, Pastor Joel's Champion Network, and I can refer you to them. Now, once you've done that, remember what I said about the dating process. Dating must be for a purpose. And the purpose is to know that the one person God has assigned for your life is the person you're going to begin sharing your personal life with. So let's start there. And let's make certain that we're not going to put ourselves out there in a way that you're going to meet a lot of people who are not going to be able to walk together with you in agreement. Because how can two walk together unless they agree? So there's several moving parts to this, but it's all good. It's all good. You need a new start. You're absolutely correct. Not because you're running from anything, but you've divorced. You have, to date, come to a place in your career where you are plateaued. When you make this transition, you'll be able to begin to push your career forward once again, and you will really experience a better quality of life. So, as everyone knows, we are in the midst of our nutrition counseling promo. You could win a free nutrition counseling package from Rebecca Buva, licensed and registered dietitian and nutritionist, BeccaTheDietitian.com, our monthly contributor who's with us the first Thursday of every month. Listen daily to 3D. You only have 2 days left to the Daily Divine Direction broadcast for the keyword or the key phrase. Today's keyword is fitness. Once you've heard the keyword, email me at newlifepastor@comcast.net or text on the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. One listener or viewer will be selected to receive free nutrition counseling with Rebecca Buva, licensed and registered dietitian and nutritionist. So the first week of July, she will give you your first initial assessment. And then every month, you will have one nutrition counseling session with Rebecca Buva, licensed and registered dietitian and nutritionist for the remainder of this year. And she will make herself available for email support during those months. And then, the first week of January, we're going to invite you to come on the broadcast and share with us your results and share with us the enhancement of your health and wellness. You can win just by tuning in and emailing or text the keyword or key phrase. We have 2 days left, today and tomorrow. We will be announcing on Wednesday our winner right here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers. And before I do that, this segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by Warrior Custom Golf at warriorcustomgolf.com. Times have changed. There's no need to spend big money for great golf clubs. If you are a golfer or you have a loved one who is a golfer, Warrior Custom Golf can provide you with custom golf clubs. They believe you should be able to have the ultimate golf experience without breaking the bank. Quality golf clubs without breaking the bank account at warriorcustomgolf.com. And Charles Tyrwhitt, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C. They have golf attire to go along with your Warrior Custom Golf equipment. You can find them at ctshirts.com. Type in the search bar the word golf, and you will see all of the attire that Charles Tyrwhitt has to offer. They both will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you have been offered a new position at a new company, and you want to know, you said, do I think that you should accept the position? So this is a real easy one for me, because as I was prayerful about this, God showed me in that secret place of your life, yes, this is God giving you the opportunity to reset your professional life. Your professional life has become somewhat stagnant. You've become a little bit complacent. You've been blessed. God is shaking things up. You're not having a problem in your current career, but this opportunity that you've been presented is a blessing from God. You don't want to miss your blessing. And as you enter into this new position and reset your professional life, prepare yourself to be the best version of yourself that you can possibly become. Go in with the intent to maximize your success. So what does that look like? That means that you are going to be diligent. You are going to be committed. You're going to give 100% of the time. Now you might say, well, how do I do that when I haven't been doing that in my current career because you've been on autopilot? Okay. So what does that look like for you? I'm going to encourage you to do this. Get the job description. Keep the job description before you. Do everything on your job description every single day. Listen, a lot of people don't realize this. Your job description tells you everything that you possibly could do to perform at the highest level. You just have to pull your job description, and in your case, you'll be getting your new job description. Well, you already are aware of what your job description is because you've been offered a new position. But you need to keep it in front of you every day and do everything on your job description every single day. Now, there is going to be that catchphrase that your responsibilities are not limited to the description. There can be some additional requirements for the new position, but all you have to do is do them. And if we, listen, this is for all of our listeners and viewers, if we do everything on our job description every single day, we will maximize our success. We will, first of all, become a better version of ourselves professionally, and then we will maximize our success so that we can get into a place where we experience the fullness of God in all of our lives. 3D, the Daily Divine Direction brought to it, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast as always, has been brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. May God bless you today. May God keep his face turned towards you. May God give you peace that surpasses all understanding. Have a great day today. I look forward to being in your viewing environment tomorrow. Remember that we are in the last 2 days of our nutrition counseling promotion with Rebecca